before I start this session, I want you to know that I'm a fanboy, and and this is something that I don't normally feel for someone. And because I have 8 odd years ago, I watched your movie Aligarh in the theaters, and I remember there was this one specific scene where you see the professor sing a song, and you see him almost break down, and that was, I think, the moment where I thought that I wanted to be a filmmaker in some regard at some point of time. And that scene has shaped my artistic inclination.
That scene, when I see it, it told me that yes, I can make films. It sort of reinforced why, you're on set, why being there and, being able to find and explore through storytelling, through cinema, is so precious. And it reminds you why you love what you do so much. That moment was not in the script. It happened. Manoj Bajpayee was, he was there. In the script, there was a small note in the second half that he's getting ready and a Kishore Kumar song is playing in the background. So that was the script note. And we had a little bit of time. The cameraman who shot the film, Satya Rai Nagpal, very fine director of photography. But Satya used to take a lot of time. So to set up that scene, he took around 5 hours. So I told Manoj, I said, yaar, 5 घंटे लिए थोड़ा ज़्यादा shoot करते. I can't just have you making your hair, कुछ करते इसमें. So Manoj said, कौन सा गाना सुनेगा? I said, यार, that आपकी नजरों ने समझा, लता जी. Because the professor, I had read his poetry, Paya Khali Hirwal. So the grass beneath my feet. So these are Marathi poems. So I had read his poems and he had written this very, very childlike poem dedicated to Lata Mangeshkar on her 60th birthday. And, most of his poems, a lot of his poems had gaps. There were these very childish poems which were all written to Lata Mangeshkar. It's the expression of somebody who has forgotten that he's a poet. You're so madly in love with that person's art. So I said, let's play my favorite Lata Mangeshkar song. It talks about love, in a way that is a bit too unconditional for my liking. But yeah, so we played that song and Manoj simply, I just said, just go, we'll see what happens. And that's what, cinema is all about that. It's about, we'll see what happens.
Correct, sir. Very beautifully put. Did not introduce you because I think you are a very illustrious individual. And मैं आपके लिए जितना भी बोलूँ कम रहेगा. And I think you have been introduced very beautifully. I gave you that anecdote because I could not stop myself from giving that anecdote. But thank you for taking the time and coming here and making time for this event. Guys, a huge round of applause for this fine gentleman here. The reason why I mentioned Aligarh is because it's a follow-up question, is that we're talking about regional cinema, right? And you have been a Bollywood filmmaker for majority of your working life. But Aligarh essentially shows you the story of a man from a small city, and Aligarh, to some regard, is not a metro, right? So do you think that qualifies in some regard as a regional movie?
I have an objection to both the terms.
Okay.
To Bollywood, I don't belong to, there's no place called Bollywood. Bollywood does not exist. It exists in the minds of people who trivialize a particular kind of cinema. And so does regional cinema. This is this division has been created, because we are based in Mumbai, and in Mumbai, the cinema of the 50s, 60s, a lot of it was dominated by the North Indians. This Hindi language cinema, in the 70s, somebody coined this term Bollywood. It's a derivative term. And in my mind, it's not only derivative, it's derogatory. Because we make a wide variety of films that tell stories about the entire country. And it is as regional. Hindi is not a national language. It is as regional. It is a language spoken by a number of people, understood by a number of people. But for me, I speak Marathi, I speak Gujarati, and I understand both the languages. And for me, they are as mainstream as Hindi. So they're not regional, it's not regional cinema for me at all.
Correct, sir. Sir, pardon me for being a little direct, but you're a product of failure and disappointment is something you had told Nilesh Mishra in one of your interviews. Why did you feel that way, despite all the critical acclaim you have been given, and you're a national award winner at the end of the day? Why do you feel you are a product of failure and disappointment?
No, I say it in a very positive way. I made my first film. It's called Jayate, which was made in 1998, I think. I've forgotten the year also. It's 25 years ago. I made my first film. And I was just finding my way. So in finding my way, I lost my way. And, I'm not afraid to say that, yeah, I failed. I failed as a storyteller. I failed as a filmmaker. But I never gave up. So I picked up the pieces from where things, nothing was a full stop. I started again. And in that, I think somewhere I found my voice. I have been somebody in search of a voice. Even now, I'm constantly searching my voice through the characters, through the films, through the stories that I make.
Even after all this time, you're searching your voice?
I don't think there's all this time, because I get up every day with the same kind of anxiety, nervousness, and amazement also. Sometimes when I just watch, like I was a few days back, I was watching a film called After Sun. It's on Movie India, and I was completely not only amazed, I was gobsmacked by the kind of film it was. It was almost like an entry in a diary, like a small entry in a diary, and yet it was so beautiful that it did not leave me. It has still not left me. The relationship between a father and a daughter through this small vacation together. If you've not seen it, I recommend you see it. It tells you that storytelling in cinema is so much beyond what we believe it is. Which is why Bollywood, I find it very reductive. The word Bollywood or regional cinema, I find it very reductive. We, in order to justify mediocrity, we reduce everything to small things. Oh, this is mainstream Bollywood. I don't think there is anything called mainstream Bollywood. I think films recover a lot of money. Some films recover less money. Some films don't make money. But that is not the yardstick. That is not why films are made. Films are not made. If I made Shahid with Rajkumar Rao, it was made for 35 lakhs. There was no money to make the film. So it was successful from the day it started. It was a 35 lakh film. And did it make money? I don't know. I don't know whether it made money. But what I know is that it fed the ecosystem with an actor called Rajkumar Rao. So I always say that, we are in the business of agriculture. We are, feeding the ecosystem with talent. If I'm making a film with, a few months back I released a film called Faraz. It did not do too well, but it had this very, very new cast. And people ask me, why have you done this after Scam, which was so successful? I said, I did that to remind myself that I have to get up every day and start afresh. And what it has done, the success of that film is in the fact that the actors in the film, the technicians, the cinematographer, they're all young. The average age on my set was 26. All of them don't have dates to give me for my next film.